Come on, when you start reading the culture of the kingdom, it's opposite of what you and I see in this world. That's why I think it's dangerous for any one of us to ever get in bed with any particular political party. Because there is not a party, no matter where you are in the world, that exemplifies perfectly the path and the culture of the kingdom. And we can argue about who does it more here or there. You can have those arguments, but my friend, nobody nails it.
Hey y'all, it's Ruben. Welcome back to Placebo Effect. So that clip was from a great pastor. He's actually my current pastor, Earl McLennan. He's the head of Shoreline City out of Dallas. Great pastor. And he's putting out some pretty good messages with respect to how we should think about our politics with respect to Christ, right? And so that's the theme of this episode. So we're in a very political climate right now. These times are highly politicized. It's 2020, right? People are very divided, and it's kind of sad, the state of the division that's happening in our nation today. And the folks on either side, depending on what side of the spectrum you lean on, they're very passionate about what they believe. And I'll admit, I've been guilty of this myself. You know, I've made the mistake at times to try to evangelize my politics. And this is one thing that Pastor O really helped me get into focus and realignment is we should, as Christians, keep our identity in Christ, right? If our identity is in Christ, then that's what matters most. We should not make the mistake of elevating our politics above Christ. Don't identify as whether you're liberal or conservative or Democrat or Republican. And this was a big takeaway that I've gotten from our church leader over the last several weeks and months. And I'll show kind of another video where he echoes the same sentiment from a different sermon.
And there are there's political upheaval and protests going on all over the world, and people are like, get that person out, get this person in, and they stole this election, they did this. I mean, it's all over the place. And some of us, at the beginning of 2020, the very people that we brought in the new year with, we will not talk to now because of politics. Because of Black Lives Matter. Because of something somebody said about the police. Can I just say a quick side note? I'm thankful for our first responders, police, fire, even the nurses and doctors. I'm so thankful for all of these individuals, and it has hurt my heart the way so many folks just kind of been thrown into one big bucket, and it's like, I hate all of them. I don't know where this dishonor is coming from. It is so deplorable. It is so disheartening to see. I have not yet met one person that is interested in any innocent people dying.
And it's very powerful because, you know, we're in very sad times where with this division, there's this us versus them mentality. And it's very sad because everybody's finding ways to exclude somebody. And we're getting more entrenched in our echo chambers, and we want validation only from people that align with us. And Jesus calls us not just to love your neighbor as yourself, but also to love your enemies as well. And not saying that people are our enemies, but in this term of division, there is this us versus them mentality. And when you fix your eyes on Christ, then you definitely take a different perspective of, should I just want to cancel somebody or exclude them from my life or get rid of them off of all my social media because they think differently than me? Do I really want to align with what the mainstream media says about them, depending on what version of mainstream media you listen to, right? So it's very easy to get caught up in this and think the other side is the bad guys and you're the ones on the side of righteousness. And let me just say this, it's a mistake to align your virtue to a political ideology. Because I've definitely heard some talk about how, well, if you're a Christian, you should vote this particular way, or if you're a Christian, you should hold this particular issue very dear to you. And one thing that I focused on when I just kind of thought about this again is we're not a theocracy. So no political affiliation is going to be righteous when it comes to aligning your virtue and your ethics and your morality with that particular political group. It's just not going to happen. You know, they're flawed like everything else. And there's no rule that says if you're a Christian, you must be a Democrat, or if you're a Christian, you must be a conservative. This is kind of what I mean, where there's a danger with raising your political ideology above our centeredness in Jesus Christ. So, like I said, I looked in the mirror first. I realized that I was guilty of this. You know, I've got some very dear friends of mine that I made the mistake of trying to influence them on how I thought that my side was doing things right, and good thing for them, they love me despite our disagreements, and vice versa too, by the way. So a little shout out to my Navy peeps. So I've been guilty of evangelizing my political view, and I would discourage that. I would say definitely vote how you want to vote, and vote however you want to vote. But let's all try to unite, heal, and come together, regardless of who wins this season. And in closing, I'll leave you this video from Pastor O, which, again, just kind of talks about this whole message. God bless you guys.
Who are in America or United States citizens, we have this massive election that's on the horizon. And honestly, in a lot of ways, it's been tearing a lot of our world apart and a lot of our country apart in some significant ways, some relationships. Can I just say real quick, please do not, I am begging you, do not lose a friendship over one of these political candidates. Do not do it. As hard as it might be, dare I say, God might have that person in your life voting for somebody that you don't like so you can learn to love someone you don't like. Because if we're just going to curate our lives and just have people around us that think like us and see like us, then I'm telling you, it's going to be hard for us to represent Jesus the way we've been called to represent Jesus. So perhaps he's allowing some of these people into your life and mine to go, okay, I said love your enemies. Can you love someone who used to be your friend and now is voting for someone that you don't agree with at all? That was free.